Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Valagar Aloevain back for some more Dungeons and Dragons Online. So here we are, we're back in Giant Hold. So this quest giver is Blaze Arind, and it's gonna be for one of the actual quest flaggers in order to do tour. So once you go ahead and pick up the Madstone Crater from Blaze, you're gonna want to head out here to Giant Hold. Now, if you remember way back when we had done the walk-ups, the actual first walk-ups that we had done, which were Troll and Maze of Madness, this quest is located over in that section. So in order to get there, we're going to hop off to the right. Try and go around these guys so we don't get the giant talking there. And there it is anyway. Okay. So for this one, we can actually head either through the hole right here, or again, we can come up this direction and kind of head right down here. Both ultimately lead you to the same location. So the first one, you just pop out over there, and then you'd meet up over here. So fairly simple, fairly straightforward. Now this quest, um, it is helpful to have multiple people, so I am joined here with Wolf. Although it can be done solo, and I will also show you how to do it solo as well while we're doing it here like this. It just takes a little extra effort on your part if you are choosing to do it solo. Alright. Alright, so here is the quest entrance, and we're going to go ahead and step inside. So once everybody makes it inside, go ahead and grab your buffs. Some good ones to have in here is fire resistance, as you come across a lot of lava, as you can see just right at the entrance here. Alright, so the first little bit that you it does ask you to speak to the fire giant, and by all means do so. However, if you do happen to forget this section, you don't necessarily need to speak to the fire giant in order to progress the quest. Alright, so the first little bit, you're going to want to head straight in. You're going to have a few ogres, a troll, an ogre mage, and you're going to want to kill them all. Now, sometimes with the ogre mage, they do go invisible, so you got to wait until they come out of their form. Once you kill them all, this gate here will open, releasing additional enemies. And it's going to go in a couple of waves like this. Again, if you believe you killed them all, but the gate isn't open and you haven't gotten the thing, it could just be because one of the ogre war mages, the Runetusk mages, have just gone invisible. Once they're all dead though, you get some XP and the gate remains open. So from here, we're actually going to want to head back south. You'll pass by these three giants. You can actually wait here. Eventually they will finish their conversation, walk up a little bit, and then they'll become targetable enemies that you can kill. So here we are. So you can do that now or you can do that later. Either way, you will have to go up that path, but we can't go up there just yet. The path that we actually want to take is through this cave here. And if you look on the map, you will see a purple dot saying Southwest Cave Entrance. So this is where we want to enter in. I'll just give Wolf a quick top up here. Alright, so when you're in these caves, the map really isn't super handy. As you see, our dot isn't actually moving, it's just kind of going in circles. So you do want to progress through here to the best of your abilities. It's kind of, at this point, you want to head down. So if the ramp is heading down, you're going the correct direction. Once you get into this big room where it has all the skeletal bones and the skeletal giants and whatnot, just kill the giants, and that will open up our gate right there. Now, once the gate opens, you do need to kill the Madstone Enchanter. Now, don't worry if you hit the Seer. If you do enough damage to him, he's just going to become passive right away. If, however, you don't, then he's just going to, attack you and such. Once that's done, you do need to make sure that you talk to him, as that will be you rescuing the Seer. So if you still have rescue the first Seer, or if it still says talk to the fire giant. If you hadn't talked to the fire giant, it will still just say talk to the fire giant. And you won't actually have all these rescue optionals or rescue quest objectives. You'll just have to keep track of that mentally on where you're at. So from his little hollow, you're going to head out, head off to the right, and now you're going to head up this ramp here. And you're going to want to head all the way up and out of the cave itself. Alright, now in order to be able to do this solo, you do need to be able to cast invisibility, either spell, scroll, something. You have to have some form of invisibility, as you're going to have to cast invisibility on the giant to make sure that no one is attacking him there. Alright. Alright, so we did have one guy go invisible. So we're just going to wait here for a moment, and he'll eventually pop up behind me, because that's what they like to do. There we go. Alright, so here's our first seer. So I just have scrolls, so I'm going to give him blur just to make it a little harder to hit him. And then we'll give him invisibility. And then I'm going to talk to him. He's going to start his dance. When he does, this door here is going to open up. And it's going to have some minotaurs coming out. Essentially your goal is to just fight the minotaurs until the giant is done. When he is done, this door here will close again, and that'll be it. So until then, we just gotta constantly fight them off. So the trick with these are they'll only ever spawn in the specific number. So in this case, we have 4. So they'll keep spawning in 4. And this becomes important more so later on, as the trick is to not have them continuously respawn. So again, I'll show you a couple methods to defeat the other ones. Now, I want to point out, In epics, so this trick really works well in heroic. In epic, however, you can't actually invis the giant. So you're just gonna have to deal with all the extra fighting. So having that aggro and having that extra person in epics really becomes handy and almost a necessity. So yeah, if you have multiple people in your group, obviously you can leave one person here, someone who can handle the fighting, and have someone go on ahead based on what your party is capable of. But obviously for this video we are just sticking together. That way I can show you everything and you can see firsthand what you're up against. The other thing you'll notice is they spawn in approximately the same time that they dissipate here. So once you see the bodies start to disappear, that's when they're going to start spawning in. So there's those two. And there they've spawned in. There's those two. So the closer you get them to the same death, the closer they're going to get to spawning in at the same time. Alright, so he's done. Our gate is closed, so now we're going to head south. And we actually want to just pop off directly to the left here, heading into this cave here. So you'll see the purple star for this central cave entrance. We're going to head on here and just head into the cave. Now, one thing I do want to point out with those minotaurs, how they do have a name, Infected. They can actually infect you with Madstone Rage, which for a melee style character, it's not bad, as it allows you to do additional damage. However, for a caster, it is a horrible thing, as it prevents all spell casting. Alright, so once you kill these guys, again, same thing as before, it's going to spawn in these two. We got to kill the enchanter. Once the enchanter is dead, we'll be able to talk to the seer, which rescues him. Now inside of this little alcove, we do have a giant collectible and a chest sitting in the corner. Once you've grabbed your loot, you're going to want to head out. Now if you make a right, you'll have a shrine, or you can continue just heading straight out and continue down the ramp there. Alright, so this time another one did become invisible, but because we don't need to come back to this cave, you can just run right past and hop on out. He can't follow you once you've exited the cave. Alright, so this is the second Sears area, is just up here. Now this one, you want to start by clearing it out. So there are two trolls, two giants right at the entrance, or at the bottom of all these ramps. You'll also have on the right hand side and the left hand side, you'll have an infected minotaur. So one here, one here. So for this one here, in order to do it easily, there are two methods. So the method that we'll be using is we're actually going to fight at the top here, all the way up here. So you'll invis the giant just like before, but you'll fight up top, like the level here. So there's going to be a caster coming out here, but from this side you can see down all four paths. As a range type character like myself, you can fairly easily shoot them from here. Now another method that works, especially if you can't invis the giant here, you actually have one person staying down here, and what he can do is when these enemies spawn in, they get the aggro of them. So I'll hit you once or twice, now you're on me, and I just run you around in giant circles around like the crystals here, because like before, they only spawn in X amount at a time. Now, if they're all running around the edge chasing you, it won't ever spawn in any additional enemies. So it does take a little bit of time to get going. So sometimes a couple of enemies make it up, so you might have to kill one up top here. So this is great if you have multiple people, because there will be a caster that spawns up top. But for our method, we're just going to invis them, talk to them, and we're going to head up top here. And we're just going to hit these guys. We're not actually going to kill them. Though we'll kill the Reaper. And the reason we're just hitting them is you'll notice they get stuck on the ramp. And they're trying to melee us and use ranged attack, but they just can't seem to hit us. Of course, the Reaper was able to get up. So yeah, that's the easy way. As you'll see, nobody's actually making their way up to the seer. They've all kind of stopped on the ramp as they don't know how to path up to you specifically. Making it really, really easy to, protect this seer. All you've got to worry about at that point is fighting this caster right here. So if they do happen to get up to the top and do fight the seer, you don't need to worry about failing. I know in the past, if the seer died, that would actually fail the quest, but the seers can no longer die. So what would happen is he just says he needs to take a breath and try again. Essentially, he starts the whole process over, and it just takes a lot longer to complete. But for here, super simple. So yeah, now all we gotta do is just wait for this to complete. And you don't gotta worry about the conquest or anything like that, as even though we could be killing so many more, you're almost guaranteed to get conquest while doing this quest. There's just so many enemies in here. And of course, once you're done this section, you can go ahead and kill all of the guys that had spawned in. Alright, so I do apologize for the boringness of the wait, but it is over. We can kill off these guys here. And these guys here. There we go. From this point, you are going to want to head directly north, which will actually pass the door that you came in, which was at this one, which is the central cave entrance. Again, you just want to head right past that to the cave down here. And head into the north cave entrance. And again, it's going to be a large area here. And we actually need to head down this ramp here. So in order to open the gate, you just got to kill the skeletons. Once you do, more are going to come out. And you're just going to proceed to the end, where again, we kill the enchanter. So take him out and then talk to our third seer. Now, the third seer again has a similar method for completing, which again, invising the giant. So once you're done, you can either choose to head straight for the shrines, or make a left to head up and out of the cave. Now, as soon as you get out of the cave on this one, immediately you're into a fight. So just be prepared for that when you exit. And then we're going to continue down our path. Because we're back out in this section, again, we do want to make sure that we kill all the enemies. So we got that one more ogre mage. Alright. And the main reason is he'll follow you all the way to the end, or wherever you happen to be. Alright. So for this one, again, there are multiple methods for completion. So one just involves using a simple invisibility on the giant. The other one is more so if you can't invisible the giant for one reason or another. Either you don't have invisibility, or that you're in epic and not able to cast invisibility. So the main part of this is you have one person heading up, and the rest of your party are actually going to wait right here by this gate. So the one person that heads up, they're going to do one of two things. Either you're in heroic and they can just invisible the giant. If that's what you're doing, you invisible the giant, you talk to the giant, you hop down immediately to down here to where the gate is. If you can't invisible the giant, you talk to the giant and then you want to head up this ramp here. What will happen is they're going to spawn in several enemies, and they're all going to walk to the edge here. All you need to do is, again, get the aggro of these enemies. You don't necessarily got to kill them. You just need the aggro. Now, if you're worried about trying to kill all the enemies up top here faster than they can kill the giant, again, you don't need to. or if you're worried about surviving the ensuing fight, again, it's not that bad, because once you have your aggro, you can actually pop down the ramp right here, which puts you out of their view range, so their attacks will hit the ground or the wall here. They won't actually be hitting you, and you'll still have that aggro. And like monsters are stupid, they don't actually chase after you. So that's that method there. Sometimes, even when you do use invisibility on the giant, you may need to use this method, as some enemies, as you know, some champions have true sight. So we're going to start this way. We talk to them there, and then we're going to head down and fight these guys. Now the easy way to know if they have true sight is if you actually look up towards the giant and you hit Q, you'll see the giant's hit point bar. If it is moving at all, which it doesn't look like he is, it means fortunately there are no champions, he's not getting hit. If there are champions and he is getting hit, you will obviously have to head up top to fight them that way. So yeah, he's definitely not taking any damage. So again, it's just a waiting game, waiting for him to complete his ritual and close the gate here for us. So again, this is a good spot where a lot of party members tend to split up. So if you have somebody who is able to take out these guys, what you can do is you can actually head down here and either head through the door right here to beneath the crater, or if you don't have someone who can pick locks, you will need to skirt around the lava and pick up the iron key just back there. So it's just at the bottom, around the corner, and there's our iron key. Once you have the iron key, then you would just want to do what you would do and head down here to the crater here. Now some people choose to use Dimension Door, which is also a good method. However, it does miss out on the optional to slay the 6 Madstone enchanters, as there are 3 of them behind a locked door. Use the key to open, and they're in the cave here beneath the crater. Alright, so this is honestly the most annoying part of this quest, is the waiting game. But as annoying as it is, it's a lot easier than trying to fight them off and make sure that the seer is protected all the while. So, I mean, it's dealer's choice. You can obviously do whichever method you feel comfortable, be it using one of these kind of easy solo methods, or just go hog wild and fight them all off. Alright, so there we go. So we're going to hop into the cave. So because I can pick the lock, I'm not going to head through the lava. But yeah, it's just, so you'd hop to the door, you'd look off to the west or off to the right. If you're facing the door, you look right. And you just head through the lava here, which parts of it is deep lava. And you would just head around the edge. I know I said I wasn't gonna. And it's right there. So again, having fire resistance definitely helps. So here you're going to come in, and you're going to actually make a right. Here's our locked door. To the left we have the shrines, or again, you can head straight out here to head back to the surface. So we're going to go through the door. Alright, so on the way down we do have some skeletal warriors and basically some giant old skeletons to fight. And then once we get to the very bottom, we're actually going to fight all 3 of the enchanters at once. So it's kind of like a little bit of a mini boss fight. Alright. So here we are. Now these guys are going to pop right out of the ground. Now again, if you have range damage, you can shoot them before they actually get up, allowing you to kill 1 or 2 depending on your luck and just how much damage you're actually doing. There we go. From here we got a loot box. And then a collectible. At this point, there is literally only one real main thing we gotta do, which we gotta head back to talk to the fire giant, and then head off and fight the end boss. So we're gonna head all the way up here. We're gonna want to make that right, or again, use the shrine if needed. And we're gonna head out this door here. Now again, if you hadn't talked to the fire giant at the very beginning of the quest, you will still get the option to return to the fire giant, so it'll actually have both. And all you do is you just talk to him the once here, and it will actually count for both those objectives. So it's like you completed it both at the same time. But yeah, so don't worry about needing to talk to him at the beginning. If you forget, it's not the end of the world. Alright, from here, we actually want to head up this ramp. Now, it's actually going to spawn in a whole bunch of enemies, so be prepared here. Also, apparently be prepared for the lag. Alright, so we have one wave that comes right out. And they're going to spawn right in front of where this gate would be. So if you came up here earlier, this gate would be closed. And they're actually going to spawn in right about where I'm standing and just head on down. From here, though, we're going to want to head up the ramp. And then up the spiral right here, all the way to the very top, where we are going to fight the end boss. So the end boss is a skeletal mage. And as soon as you get to the top, as you see, he does send down a chaos orb. So if you got somebody who's really, really fast and other people who are not as fast, you may end up running into the orb on your way up. So just watch yourself there. Now, once the skeleton is dead, we have our end loot chest here. Let's go ahead and obviously grab that. And then we need to head back and talk to the fire giant again. So again, you can use Detour, or if you hop off just to the west, you can actually feather fall all the way down, or fall down depending on whether or not you have feather fall. And we can head down directly to the fire giant, and then talking to the giant himself completes the quest. So there we are. It took half an hour, just over half an hour. We got 37,000, and yeah, so this one is annoying, specifically because those time locked out gates where you just gotta sit and wait. Obviously, you can speed that up greatly, by once you get to that point, you split the party, leaving one or two or however many people there to defend it while you continue on. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Have a good one, all.